Slacktail Squad, assemble.
So
I don't understand. Why do you need to learn the terminology if you don't want to be a wine snob? Do you drink wine?
I already said I don't drink. Get with the program, Beef. Come on. If you're going to
It's not
insult
beef,
me,
it's beef,
stay
man.
with the Beef, man. If you're going
Get
to
right,
insult me,
motherfucker.
He wanted
There you
to
go,
shorten
get
it
with
up
me.
like
Is
you
there a
guys were
reason why
friends.
now that you've adjusted your camera so that we can't see you, Rons?
no.
He wants to be like that neighbor on what is that
Tool
show?
Time?
Tool Time.
Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Home Improvement?
Home Improvement, yeah.
Oh,
I thought he wanted to be a Dow scrubbing bubble.
What the hell is it like shave your face day? Because like Tremonde doesn't have like facial hair and the
I like a
Rons
5
doesn't
o'clock shadow.
have facial hair. I see.
Well, this was
I
just another
shaved.
fucking. This was just another great prep time for the fucking podcast. I'm so fucking excited and happy right now. This is the Beef Man, agitated as fuck as usual. Thank you so fucking much, technology.
Don't you want to blame me? Blame the Swan. Start out with what happened.
It usually is your fucking fault. This is why I tell everybody to prepare for the podcast 15 minutes before the podcast so that we can podcast at the podcast time. But nobody fucking listens to me.
I can't
Excuse
help
me,
it.
I
that
was
the-
Don't shut the fuck up, Rons. I'm not talking to you.
I was talking. I can't help it that the U, the I, the O, the P, everything from the G over did not work on the keyboard. That's not good. Half
Yeah,
the
but yet
keyboard
it worked
didn't work.
earlier today when I was using it. So all of a sudden you fucking jinxed it and now it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
How come everything you fucking touch stops working?
So
Like your
what
penis?
I'm hearing,
Redo
what I'm hearing is the Beef Man found the G spot on the keyboard, but the Swan couldn't find the G spot.
I couldn't
Because it
find
wasn't
the G
working.
or the I
because
or
you
the
decided
O.
you needed to talk, Rons, you
ruined
walked over a good joke. You just
I did, didn't I?
yeah. You
Thank
did.
you.
That was a good one.
it. Do I get credit for it?
You do.
Yes.
You do.
Okay, good.
And for those who are listening, it was a penis joke.
Yeah, but they couldn't listen because you decided you were going to talk over the really good joke to say a really lame joke.
Yeah.
Oh, I see how it goes. All right.
Anyway, it's almost Halloween. This is our Halloween episode. Yay, happy Halloween. Who's excited? What sort of a spank me costume will you be wearing, Rons?
I don't think I'll be wearing a costume this year.
You're not going to gimp it up?
He's going naked.
No. I was going to go as the Beef Man, but they don't have sorrow and retribution and anger all rolled into one as a costume.
They should.
They should.
It wears camouflage.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
this is our Halloween episode, so I really
Scam
don't fucking.
Likely is calling. Should we answer it?
No, you should not answer scam likely because it's a fucking likely a scam.
Oh. Well, I didn't know if they wanted to talk to me or
No,
not.
I'm sure they don't. No, they don't.
You can't even decline it.
Well, you might want to let her talk to them because she might kill their systems the way it's going.
Yeah, I could ruin all scam likelies.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, again, this is the Beef Man. It's the Slaptail Squad. If you're listening to this, you're a member of the Great Slaptail Nation, and it's Halloween time. I used to really love Halloween.
Yeah.
But, I hate the children in our neighborhood. They're not going to get any fucking candy from us. We're not giving candy out, so fuck them.
Why?
Why? Because it's a fucking pandemic. Why do
Here,
I need to
please have my Rona candy and bring your Rona little germy snot bubble hands and
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. We
Yeah.
don't need that shit. No, there will be no lights on in our home. We will not be answering the door. Fuck them.
yeah.
Well,
I suppose you will.
Tremonde
Though.
looks a little bit.
I feel like you should create it like a candy launcher or something and shoot it out into the street and make them catch it with the
actually, yeah, I saw some of that last year. That's pretty cool.
No, that's dumb. You're still touching it, and you're still gonna let your kid eat candy that was touched by random nasty.
Yeah, you go buy a bag of candy in the supermarket that's been touched and handled by other people, and then
You
it was
can open
packaged.
the bag.
That was packaged by people with probably Corona anyway. So what the hell's the difference?
I miss the old days. Honestly, I think it would be. I think we should bring back the freaking the popcorn balls.
Yuck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dude, those
yeah.
are the best, man. You could really just bean somebody with a fucking popcorn ball. Put it in a fucking
Okay.
potato shooter and just launch it at those freaking teenage kids that don't take the hint that they shouldn't be trick or treating anymore. And they don't.
I
wear
thought he was going
They
to
should
go
be
with.
don't-
fucking instead.
and they don't wear a fucking costume. They're like,
I
"Oh,
thought
I'll
he
just
was
wear
gonna
a
go,
football-
"I
I'll
miss-"
just wear. Shut the fuck up.
I thought you were going to go with. I just missed the taste of them.
Who even eats those?
I do.
So he needed to interrupt me to say
To tell us how much he liked popcorn balls.
that he thought I was going to say that I missed the taste of them. What I was saying was, I hate children that don't wear costumes for Halloween. They're too old to trick or treat. It would be great to bean one of them with a fucking stale ass popcorn ball shot from a potato launcher. Why not cause some trauma?
So you're just launching balls that you don't want to eat anymore.
No, that's what you do. No, he eats the balls. He likes all the
He
balls.
takes them right in the
Salty
face.
balls. He likes the salty balls.
He's the one who would be out there trying to get a ball in the face.
There you go. So
He's not even denying it anymore. He's like,
no,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Bee Man there for a second, who said he used to like popcorn balls.
He
See,
never
I
said
never,
that.
There was never
you
one
said
point
that.
in time.
Is it time for your dementia med?
Yeah. At least I
Yeah.
got my technology to work the first time.
No, you didn't. Your
Yeah, I
sound kept,
did.
You didn't. Your sound kept cutting out. You had to leave and
That's
go
on
back.
your part, not mine.
Okay, he's
I,
sitting back nodding.
That doesn't have anything to do with me. This is all on the net, dude. It doesn't have anything to do with me. If it doesn't work,
deniability.
it
That's
doesn't
all
work,
you need to do.
It's on the site's problem, not my problem.
Deniability. That's all you
Anyway,
need to know.
so who wants to
Anyway.
go first? Who's got a great story for Halloween? And nobody expects these to be good, by the way. As a matter of fact, if they're good, I'll be shocked. If they're good,
Oh.
it's not as fun if they're good. The whole point is for us to have fun and make fun of it. Who wants to
Oh,
go first?
okay.
Who's got it?
I do.
You actually now.
Did you write it down?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I am impressed because what did I say, Swan?
He's not going to do it,
He's
or
not
he's
gonna
going
have
to try to
anything.
make something up, and every 3 words is going to be right.
Who's got their drink?
The right
Okay,
Ron drink?
Tremande, are you ready to play the Ron's Right
Oh, boy.
drinking game?
I'm about to be drunk.
I might actually have to. I might have to send.
Right here.
Yep, I might have to send Baby Swan to get me another drink. It's very possible.
Hey, Baby Swan, who's our underage bartender, could you go get us another drink?
So, Tremande and I will be playing the Ron's Right game. And for those of you listening at home, enjoying this on Halloween evening or in the day while it's released, we're going to play the Ron's Right game, and we're only going to do it while he's telling his story. So every time Ron says right, you have to take a drink. Clear? Everybody clear on the rules. Tremande, you're clear on the
I'm clear.
rules.
Yeah, I'm clear.
Very well then.
Begin,
This
Ron.
is the first Halloween story from the Rons.
And there was the creaky chair.
and just so you know, Rons,
Yes.
Tremande and I will be ethnically responding to your story.
Do I get
Ethnically
to
responding.
ethnically-
Sure,
respond?
you can also ethnically respond.
Okay.
Yeah, so your ethnic responses are probably going to be like, "Hey, I'm going to go
Hey,
take a
fat guy."
shower. Is anybody out there? Guess I'm going to wash my tits. Hello? Is somebody there?" Oh, so now the pressure's on, and all of a sudden Ron's drops.
Ron has
Yeah,
technologically.
but here's the funny thing is that Ron says that he's so tech savvy and that the rest of us have an issue. Let's see what tech savvy Ron's is doing.
No, are you there?
Are you there?
We
Mhm.
are.
Okay, yeah. I moved one of my notes that I took.
He accidentally
down.
closed his computer. I
That's
can't.
on me.
It's not Ron's fault. It's not his system.
Don't
that
you have
he's
like
been
the
working
triple
on for 2
monitor
years now.
system? You can just pull it
I
up on
do.
the other side.
All right,
I
Ron,
did.
do it, brother.
Anyway,
Go.
all right.
It's spooky story time with the Rons.
All right, set the mood. All right, this
Like
is
he
called
does
the
for
Noble
sex. Set the mood. Get that chicken wing.
and the martini. All right, this is called the Nobody. All right, in a
No!
world.
Right? Drink, Monday. Drink it up.
All right, it's called the Nobody.
Does right? All right counts
no,
too.
all right doesn't
Well,
count.
he said
No,
it did the
no,
other day.
It doesn't.
Okay.
You did. In a world where everyone wants to blame about everything, exists the nobodies. The nobodies are either a group of people, a single person, an entity,
You know, that
just-
sounds like my people. So just talk about my people, eh?
or just a conscious thought brought to by life by those who just don't want to care or want to deal with anything or anyone anymore. Some evil deeds start with nobody whispering in the ears, giving life to conspiracy theories. The nobodies give them the thought to make what they want done a reality. Sometimes the nobodies manipulate society to make it dance like a puppet while the nobody watches and laughs.
I'm so fucking confused.
Yeah, you're supposed to be. That's the
Okay,
That's
yeah,
the
well,
deal with it.
then you're right on target. Keep going.
All right. Where am I?
Ooh, if all right counted, we'd be
no,
at
it
3.
doesn't.
I know it doesn't, but I'm just saying.
When prophecies, conspiracies start, nobody pays attention until it's too late, and the process of evil doing has taken a foothold. For example, when a graveyard floods,
Is
sometimes
this a
the coffin-
story or is
Yes,
this just
it
a
is.
definition? Did you just get this from the encyclopedia?
Oh, would you just let
Okay,
me finish
please tell
my
the story.
story?
Sorry, please
Continue
tell the story.
Right?
I'm not scared yet, though.
When a graveyard floods, sometimes the coffins break free from their entombed homes. The dead will rise from the earth.
Like in Louisiana.
Mhm. The angels will burn. The city of Los Angeles has been on fire. Famine, the water will be on fire. The Cahoga River was set on fire at one point. Famine will come across the land and all will starve.
Are you like that ugly teenager who's always on there on like bitching to the world to the what is it, the bitching about climate change, that really ugly kid? Is that what you're trying to do? Is that your thing?
No,
Okay,
no.
just checking.
The latest fad of the diet starts with this willing. Nobody sees all this and smiles. Nobody turns humanity against itself. Humanity loves to point the finger at each other, yet
How is
nobody
this
is
a
to
scary
blame.
story?
I don't
This
know.
is like a history class.
Yes, he's like.
No, would you?
I think
just,
he's telling us to drive electric cars. That's
No
what I'm
one
getting
ever
from
s-
it so far. So far,
No one ever
so
sees
far,
nobody
we're
do
supposed to drive
anything
electric
wrong.
Cars. Okay. Okay.
Nobody fires the first round to start a war. Nobody starts a fight. Nobody has recruited the homeless. The homeless is an army of lost souls willing to do what it takes to carry out the misfortunes, because nobody has made society look away from them. When the
Like,
carnage
Tremonti's
settles,
the lucky one because he's frozen.
Yeah.
I'm like,
when the carnage settles, nobody will look back, take stock that as all that was created by the horror. Nobody will believe you.
Is this one of Kennedy's speeches?
But
What
no
is
one else
this?
will.
Is this a story? I don't
Yes.
understand. Is he trying to be deep? I don't. Somebody help me. I don't understand.
Okay.
Nobody, in the end, nobody will be that everyone. Listen and tries to understand each other. You kind of broke my flow there.
Can you start
However,
over?
For simplicity.
however,
For simplicity.
nobody-
Please repeat what you were
Yeah.
saying.
however, nobody knows this will
The
never
troubles I've
happen,
seen.
and
Nobody
nobody
knows
will.
the troubles I've seen.
ever-
Was that what you were about to say?
Nobody knows.
And let carnage reign forever. For all the atrocities that start, nobody will always be invisible, silently reigning over all. And if someone does figure out, nobody
Oh,
will,
this is a story about the reptilians. This is about the
because
reptilians.
humanity
You're just
will be
warming up.
deaf.
You're just warming up to it.
the cries of its own pain. Yeah, that's it. So actually, what the story?
What? You just left
That
us
was your
hanging?
fucking story?
Well, yeah, it was. It wasn't going to be this entire long, drawn out concept, and with dialogues
Ramonde's
left and right.
sleeping.
Did you understand? Did you understand that?
Is
we
that
were
a
the
scary
teller-
story? That's what your
scary
parents
story?
read to you when they were trying to bore you to sleep?
First of all, it's about this entity that goes around. It's sort of like what was it? There was a movie about what is it? I think
don't
it was
know. We're
starring
in Ron's
Denzel.
brains, folks.
Well, hold
Ron's
on.
brain.
Let me finish here. It was about the concept of evil, and evil was transferred to a person just by touching it. So if you've ever seen the movie, it's pretty
Okay,
cool.
what was the protagonist, antagonist? Like, what was the?
The protagonist or the
There's
antagonist
nobody.
is nobody. Right? Yeah. The antagonist was nobody.
You could just see everybody's faces right now. It's like
I think Tremonde froze.
Tremonde's
Nope,
like sucking on a lemon over there. Like, what the fuck?
Reminder, your thoughts on this particular story?
it's So I love you, Rons.
Do you want to
I know
write
you
in
do.
copy so you
This-
can learn it by heart?
No, that's quite okay.
As we were talking, it was almost like I'm sitting in a movie theater and I'm like hearing this intro, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to a different movie and just hop to another movie because I'm like, I don't know where this is gonna go.
Well, it's
Aw.
about how, this entity.
I'm not sure that
Right.
you're supposed to have to explain a scary story. I just got to tell you that.
Well, look at The Sixth Sense,
Nope,
right?
that was pretty obvious.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious.
No,
there was dead people.
not to the
there
very
was-
end.
There was
No, but not to the very
horror
end. That
throughout the whole thing.
The antagonist or the protagonist was dead. You didn't know that.
Oh, but it was still
It's
scary.
gonna make my
There was
story
still-
so much better. I thought mine was gonna be awful, but I love you, Ron.
There he is shitting himself again. He squeaked one out last time too for one day.
Yes, he did. He let a big
So-
wet shit.
He
And tried
didn't
to
even.
blame it on
He didn't even
sneezing.
make a good drinking game. Let me ask you. Yeah, go ahead, Tremaine. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, so I think because he had like he wrote out what he wanted to say, so he didn't.
You give him
insert his-
you give him an A for effort.
Like,
Oh yeah,
we're glad that you took some time to write that, but I'm just as confused. I don't even know what the fuck it was about. I'm pretty sure it was about global warming.
Wow, you read all that into it. Yeah.
Isn't that what it was about?
No, it was about this entity that causes chaos called the Nobody.
You know, I'm going to say this. It was one of those pieces that make you think.
Yeah, it's an artistic original. Yeah.
Yeah. That piece was just as autistic as you, Rons. I mean, artistic as you.
Artistic.
Well,
this is my thinking face.
yeah, that was scary story number 1 from the Rons. Thanks, Rons. Way to go.
Well, I try to go along the lines of how Stephen King reads you into it until the carnage
No,
happens.
Did you just-
You just compared himself to Stephen King.
No, I said I tried. I am not a Stephen King.
Yeah,
I'm not even a Richard Bachman. I'm not even a Richard Bachman.
Same guy. Anyway.
Well,
Wow, who wants to go next?
I mean, it can't. I mean, it could probably get a little.
I don't think it can get worse. I don't think it can get worse because you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but
We know that.
I do have a modicum of intelligence, and I was fucking lost. I couldn't even do any like funny shit because I didn't know what the fuck was going on
Well, you interrupted so many fucking times.
because
How
I was
could you?
fucking confused. I know this. I'm not scared. It didn't scare me. I wasn't
Did it
worried.
make you think? Like, were you on the edge of your seat?
It just made me feel like it was a advertisement for us not to use so much gasoline.
No, that's what. So,
Not
who,
to drink bleach.
not to,
Or maybe.
Oh, God, that's just so. So the concept was
No, you don't have to explain it. It's okay. We'll
No,
we'll come back to it. We
Can
got
you
other
put the
stories.
transcript in the web page in case anyone wants to read it?
I think that's best. I think that's best.
Spark notes.
Who wants to go next? Who wants to go next?
I think the Swan should.
Okay, Swan, go ahead.
The Swan should.
The Swan
okay.
should.
Okay. I don't know
Does
if
this
I
story
can-
take
I
place
don't-
in Detroit?
No. No. Okay. Ready? Are you guys ready to
All
be
right.
Yeah.
scared
We're ready.
or bored or something?
Get on with it.
I'm working
And
on it.
tell
I'm working on it. Okay. Ready? Here I go.
Still, yes. Still
Yeah.
ready.
Okay. Every time you interrupt me, I'm gonna start over.
No.
Okay. Here I go. A young married couple with 2 kids were tired of country living or city living. I'm sorry. So they bought their first home in the country. It was pure
wow.
heaven for
Do
them.
we know this, people?
We don't.
I
Shut
think
the
we
fuck
do.
up, Rons. It was pure heaven to them, with the smell of fresh open air, the birds
And
flying,
squirrels?
the animals running.
She said fresh open. First thing I thought she was going to say was fresh open ass. It smelled like fresh open
Yep.
ass.
Animals running around. They had their little piece of heaven. They had their 2 kids, who all enjoyed exploring every acre of their new country home. They explored the house, every room. The kids thought it was very interesting. It was an older house. Everything was awesome. They had a nice family country feast.
So I'm sorry. Was everything awesome?
It was everything is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, did they go?
So
from
what kind
they
of-
did.
Yeah.
They had a big country feast. I don't know. Everyone had a fun time. Afterward, the parents were cleaning up. The kids were getting ready for bed. The sun was setting. Darkness fell upon the country home. No one realized what was happening around them.
They assumed that what was happening around them was darkness.
It was.
Darkness was falling.
You are ruining my
It's called
plot.
nighttime.
Yeah.
All
or
the while, a slow, insidious evil was lurking around them, planning and plotting.
Before
parents-
you continue,
Yes,
before you get to continue, was this family white?
they were white.
Of course
Yep.
they were.
Yes,
Okay,
they
please-
were.
Please continue your story.
So was it indigestion after a big country feast?
Maybe. A big giant fart. Yeah. The parents tucked their children safely into bed for the night. They went off to their room. Bam! What was that noise? One of the kids said
wasn't
to the
sex.
other. It might have been. Oh! They both stared at each other in silence. Bam! They hear it again. It became louder and louder. A chill came over the room. It was so cold that you could see the vapor coming from their mouths. They both jumped into the same bed, hugged each other
Wait a
tightly.
minute. What, they weren't
Whoa,
in the
is this
same
in
bed in the first
Kentucky?
one, so they had
No.
separate beds?
Yeah, they were in their bedroom together, like their twin bunk beds, whatever. Why would they have the same bed?
Why would married people have separate beds?
The children!
Oh, I
Yeah, you didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, I guess.
What was that noise? One of the kids said.
Go ahead.
It was the big man interrupting your story.
Yeah. Jeez, how can it be scary and build up suspense if you're going to constantly interrupt?
Please continue.
They jumped into bed next to each other, holding each other. One of them was holding her favorite doll. Their bodies shivered. The fear was getting greater, and all the sounds kept getting closer and closer.
Wait. The kids jumped in the bed,
Together,
See,
yes.
I was
Yes.
confused also.
but they're white kids.
They're white kids. Yeah.
They don't typically jump in the bed
Where
scared.
are they going to go? Where are they going?
They're gonna go see what's going on.
I don't know what
Like-
that is.
What is it?
Yeah,
What is that?
walking down the hall with their teddy bear.
I guess that's Mom.
Probably.
Let me see this creepy light under the door. Let me go open the door.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, isn't that the cover of Poltergeist with like a little girl with her teddy bear like walking towards the
I don't know.
light
I've
under
never
the
seen
door?
that movie.
Oh, you
The
mean in
sounds
front of
kept
a-
getting closer and closer. They screamed for their parents, but all of a sudden the door slammed shut. Suddenly, the noise stopped.
Was the
Wait,
door
wasn't
open
the door already
originally?
shut?
Their bedroom door.
Wasn't it already shut?
No, I never said it was shut.
Well, I mean, so they go to sleep with their bedroom door
Yes.
open?
I mean, I
Who
guess.
does that? I don't do
Those
that.
kids.
Yeah.
White kids.
White kids.
My door's always shut.
Mine too. Suddenly, the noise stopped. One of the kids got off the bed to go get their parents. And then all of a sudden, a cold hand with long claws reached out from under the bed, grabbed the leg, and pulled the kid under the bed. His sister tried to grab him. Their legs were swinging and scratching. All of a sudden, she could see the glowing eyes and the red amber of the evil monster under her bed. They were now both screaming. Their parents tried to open the door, but it was locked. They couldn't get in, no matter how much the dad tried. He couldn't open the door, and the screams of the parents and children filled the home. The child disappeared under the bed. All of a sudden, it became quiet. The door opened. The remaining sister sat on the floor crying. Parents rushed to her, asked her where she was. She told her that her sister was taken under the bed. The monster got her. The dad looked at the child, finding nothing, looked under the bed. No child. All they found was scratch marks and the child's doll.
And shit.
Lots of shit.
Did the girl that was left behind, did she shit?
Probably.
Did she shit
She
after?
probably did. But you ruined my whole entire story.
That was the story?
Yeah, that was my story. It was better than Ron's.
It was better than Ron's. At least there was an element of
There was a
fear
monster in a creepy house.
there. Let's go ahead and go to our first listener, old white man, Ron's. What was your thoughts on that story, Ron's?
Wow, I was like, wow.
Were you scared?
No, not at all. I was like, who the hell, right? Doesn't look the house over.
Right?
Number
Take a
two.
drink, Tremonde.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
You
Did I?
did too say right.
All right.
Like,
Immediately.
Okay. Second, what parent doesn't check on the kids before they go to bed?
they tucked
And
him
then-
in.
Okay, hold up, follow-up question, and then recheck on them just before they go into
Is
the
that
room.
what you do to RJ?
Yeah.
Right
He
now.
checks on
Yeah,
RJ
just
continues,
checking
like,
on you.
20
He's
years
like,
old,
dude, leave
and
me
he's like-
alone. I'm like spanking it. Jeez.
Hey,
Dad,
wow.
stop.
what you
Okay
doing
in
over
there,
there?
bud?
You need Daddy to tuck you
a little
in?
bit of privacy, Dad.
You know,
Tuck
Maybe
you
no,
I
in
turn
now,
down
buddy?
the bed for you, buddy. No,
no,
Dad.
no.
I'm
I
fine.
wasn't scared at all because it's the same concept of the scary monster under the bed.
Hold up.
Oh,
Need
Yeah.
me to wipe for you, buddy.
all right. Now we know why the boy moved out, because you were just like, hey, you know, if you're gonna do that, you wash your own sheets.
No, the boy. That was my impression of what you do. That's not me.
I know. And, oh, jeez, follow along.
Ah,
Jeez, will
jeez.
ya?
Oh,
Jeez.
yeah, jeez.
Jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
The concept behind the story is okay. The setting, it just screamed of rabid squirrel syndrome, right? I just
Drake.
thought for sure. I don't know. I didn't think I said the word there.
You did.
He doesn't even know
you
it.
say
That's
it.
the-
That's what I told you before. You say it so much that you don't
You
know
don't
you
even
say
know.
it.
It's all
Fair enough.
good.
This is actually one of those discussions I had on the Wisdom app about repeating words and listening to your own podcasts.
Oh, nice plug there. So anyway, it was an okay story. You know, no screams of terror, right?
Well, I didn't want to scream into the microphone. I thought that would be a little bit
there
not
was
good.
no. It was just a classic. It was a classic story.
Yeah.
It didn't really
Yeah,
show any inventiveness.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
not
told
much
you they were
imagine-
going to be bad.
Not much imagination, but that's okay.
Listen, B-Man, quit sucking up. You're not getting laid anyway. So anyway,
Oh, wait a minute. How's that me sucking up? I'm insulting her story.
no, you're actually trying to give her notes and tips, and you're not getting the tip in tonight. So let it go. So anyway, the story was okay. You could have fleshed out a little bit more. I liked it. So next.
Next, we turn to our resident. Next, we turn to our resident black man and ask him what he thought of the story and why did. I have my own questions for this, about this story, but I want to hear what the Tremonde has to say.
So part of the plot is as kind of Ron said, like we've heard some of it before, and I feel like every scary movie now, like we've heard and seen just about every plot there is. The part where like it got to like only thing that you could see left was like the scratches on the floor. And if there was a pile of shit sitting under the little girl who was there crying about her brother, like to me that would just be like so realistic, because it's like you're so scared you literally shit yourself because you can't control.
Okay, then I'll add the pile of shit.
But like that's something that you don't typically see.
You should though in horror movies. They should wet themselves or shit themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Okay.
it shouldn't always be like comical, because I feel like scary movie, like we may have seen like somebody piss themselves before, but it's done like as
A joke.
like
Yeah.
as a joke. But for a kid to like literally be sitting in their shit out of just like fear,
Sheer
I think
terror.
that's, like
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's my new goal.
That-
Scare the shit out of Tremonde.
No, that should be.
Literally.
I agree with Tremonde. That should be in movies. Somebody should be actually sitting in a pile of their own shit.
Yeah.
And I
Shit,
feel like in
vomit,
these Hollywood movies, in these stories, they should also actually put up a fight instead of just succumb to the bad guy. That drives me up a fucking wall. I'm like, okay, if I know I'm going down, all right, motherfucker, you're not going to get me easy. Hell no.
I agree.
One, I'm not going to stick around, for one thing. Two, I'm putting up a fight if I got to stick around if I can't get out. I can't get away.
You mean you're not
Yeah.
going to run to the basement in your high heels?
Well, if I run to the basement, whoever's after me is fucked. That's all I got to say.
What's in the basement?
Why is he wearing high heels?
I don't know. I'm just saying. That's how all scary movies are. They're like run to the basement or the roof in high heels, like, or try to run away in high heels. Like,
I
why?
would like to see B-Man in high heels and run. to the
Because I have
basement.
2 actual swords, a warhammer, and several training swords in the basement.
Mm.
Yes, but could you fight in high heels?
Probably.
I wouldn't be in
Okay.
high heels because I always wear comfortable shoes. That's one of those secrets that people know about me. If that people really know me, they know that the Bead Man always wears comfortable shoes and clothing that he can fight in.
And shoes that you can kick ass in.
That is true. Not only can I kick ass in it, but I can run.
Yeah,
I always wear specific shoes.
it's true.
It's true. All right. I feel like if I was going to buy that house, if I bought that house, and whenever I buy a house, the 2 houses that I bought, I ask very specific questions of the real estate person when I buy it.
Has anyone died here?
Has anyone died here? Is the place haunted?
Well, wouldn't they have to offer that in full
No,
disclosure?
they do not,
Not
have
unless
to.
you
can
ask.
ask. They don't have to offer it.
Not true, because there was a suicide across the street and they had to disclose that.
Only
when
if
they
they
were purchasing-
ask.
No, they have to disclose it when they were buying the house.
I didn't ask if anybody. I said, has anybody died here, or is the place haunted?
So, B-Man, when you say did they die here, meaning like someone died in the room in a house?
No, I just mean in general. Has
Oh,
anybody died here? Yeah, I don't mean that they had to die from suicide or a murder or anything like that. In general, I just ask, has anybody died here?
Feeling like their spirits may come back to.
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe. I just like to know those things because I don't really want to buy a house that anybody's died in. It's
I
just
mean-
my thing.
Not even like a 95-year-old grandma who passed away in her sleep.
No, not necessarily. Because if she comes back as a ghost and she's all naked, I don't want to see that. I want to see a 95-year-old grandma naked walking around her little
Nikki?
nakedness,
Hey,
asking me for some coffee in the middle of the night. Hey there, young man. What you doing in my bed? Can I get some coffee? Oh, look at you. Look at you pitching that tent. Okay. All right,
All right, yeah.
nasty grandma.
Man.
All right.
Alrighty. That went a little dark.
Let's keep the dryness to yourself.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sure you're not any more moist in the afterlife, so I'm not interested.
Ew. Nasty.
Well, I'm kind of glad that the ghost grandma does not turn on the P-Man, because that would be a whole new fetish for him.
No, I mean, if you're a hot ghost, I mean, that'd be sweet, but not hot grandma.
Not a
hot
grandma?
Not hot
No.
not granny ghost. No.
That's like having a wet dream.
Or a moist dream.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Ron's.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm going to tell my story next because I'm sure Tremonti's is awesome.
Saving the best for last.
So is not, because I guess I should have asked more questions. I thought that we were like telling like personal scary
Oh, you
stories.
can.
I did
tell-
say that.
yeah,
I said
it
you could
be.
either make it up or it could be personal or you could tell one that's already been
Oh,
told.
now I want to hear Tremonde's.
No, I don't. That's the thing. I don't have a good one, but I have some thoughts that I would like to throw out there, though.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead,
should
Ethan.
I just tell my story then and you can
Yes, you should.
throw out your thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right, so you got to think.
Like
but not
Ron's
as much
story.
not as much as you had to think with Ron's story.
Okay.
Because I'm going to build the story.
So interrupt a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, pay attention, Ron's.
You should pay attention,
Oh,
though, because
I am.
that way you don't have too many questions. Here we go. In their nearly 2 years together as a team, Team 1-5 Tigers had the routine down. Insert by airborne operation in the middle of the night, hide the parachutes, and make a quick exit from the landing zone.
So already we have homosexual overtones. Insert, pull out. Okay, good.
Make you
Probably an all-male
uncomfortable?
group, too.
Does homosexuality make you uncomfortable, Ron?
No, it
he's
doesn't, but I-
homophilic.
Homophilic. I coined it. Homophilic. It would take them most of the hours of darkness to make it to the observation point. Just another routine mission. It was the early 1990s. The country was at peace, but preparing for war is a never-ending endeavor. Team 1-5 was a 5-man special operations team. The team leader was a highly skilled professional. A bat boy. That's what you called a soldier who served in the Ranger Battalion. And that's where Sergeant Mick had spent his career up to this point. He was lean and tall, strong and quick. His assistant
Just
team leader...
Ron's type.
Well, he was white, though. His assistant team leader spent his early career in the 82nd Airborne Division, a paratrooper through and through. He had served in the Gulf during the war, and his name was Sergeant Lang, and he was the definition of the silent professional. The rest of the team was comprised of 3 enlisted men, all too young to drink, had they been stationed stateside. The senior scout was a kid from Oklahoma, Specialist Chill. He was quiet and professional, not too sure of himself, but dependable in a clinch. Untested in combat like his other 2 young team members. Specialist Turner was the scout observer, a young man from Mississippi, who was quick to crack a joke, and his brand of humor was greatly appreciated on any mission, especially when it just happened to suck. And finally, the radio telephone operator, Specialist Dax. He could get communications in any situation. Only his team members knew that he had extensive training in weapons, hand-to-hand combat, and survival training, much like the Rons.
Yeah. Always ready for action.
His father had been a member of a special operations team that operated behind enemy lines in more than one hotspot over the years. And according to Dax, his dad had seen some crazy shit. He had worked missions with the CIA and other black ops agencies, and the stories he knew were hard to believe, but you could tell Dax believed them. He had lots of them, but he would not tell them because he said they were pretty dark. He said his dad was different, and the team left it at that. The landscape unfolded before them, dark and wooded. As they entered the wood line, the darkness enveloped them. They sat down and waited, letting their eyes adjust to the ambient light until they could see well in the dark. Then they moved on. In those days, night vision was not very advanced and not readily available as equipment. This was also the days before global positioning systems were widely used. They navigated by compass and map. They were several kilometers from any town. The map showed that the nearest town was over 20 kilometers away, and they were now deep in the Black Forest. The team continued their journey through the woodline, almost without a sound, blending in with the sounds of the forest. The moon rose above them, but the trees were so thick that it could not be seen clearly. The trees began to part and they could see a clearing, and the senior scout raised his hand and the team stopped. Using hand signals as silent communication, they paused to check the map. It didn't make any sense. There was not supposed to be a clearing here. Could they be lost? This far off course? It didn't seem likely because they were excellent navigators. They sat down and confirmed their location. The team leader signaled for the senior scout and the assistant team leader to do a recon of the area. They were given a strict time hack of 1 hour. The rest of the team took up cover and waited. And waited. An hour passed, and they heard footsteps approaching. Specialist Chill appeared out of the woodline. "What did you find?" Mick asked him. He stared blankly at Mick and said nothing. "Chill, what did you find?" Mick asked again. Again, Chill said nothing. Turner reached out to touch Chill's shoulder, and Chill turned toward Turner, opened his mouth, and spewed forward a torrent of black, sticky goo. Then he fell forward onto the forest floor. Quickly, the team rushed to his side, removed his pack, and when they did, their hands came away covered in the same black substance. There were large, deep gouges in his back that looked like he'd been pierced with a sharp object like a knife, but the wound edges were burned, and the smell of singed hair and flesh filled their lungs. What the hell happened? How was he able to walk with those massive wounds? Suddenly, there was a rustling in the brush. Rapid footsteps approaching. The team reflexively raised their useless rifles that contained no ammunition. Times of peace required no use of live rounds or any kind of ammunition whatsoever, not even blanks. And then, deathly silence. "Get us some comms now." There was fear evident in Mick's voice, but he did not raise it above a whisper. "We need to get out of here." More rustling, like 100 heavy footsteps, louder and louder. Then silence. Dax checked the knife at his side. He could see the others did the same. He could feel his heart beating louder and louder. "Calm down," he told himself. "Focus on the mission. Get communication and get us an extraction." "Where is Sergeant Lang?" Turner asked. "Do you think he's okay?" The others just looked at him. "We'll find him," Mick said. "Sergeant Mick, I got comms. I sent a transmission. The cavalry's on the way." Footsteps approaching, growing louder. Sergeant Lang emerged from the bushes and approached. "Sergeant Lang," Mick said, "are you okay?" But there was no response. Sergeant Lang slowly turned to Mick, opened his mouth and spewed black fluid all over him and fell over dead. There were large puncture wounds in his chest with charred edges. They were bloodless. His knife was not on his side. "We have to get out of here," Mick said. "We need to get to the extraction site or no one will be able to find us," said Dax. "Then let's move. Mark this location on the map and we can send someone back for Lang and Chill." Dax bent forward and removed one dog tag from each man. "Just in case," he said. Mick and Turner just nodded silently. "It's not footsteps," Dax said quietly. "What was that?" Mick said. "It's not footsteps," he repeated. "That's the sound of hooves moving through the woods. Lots of them." Suddenly, the silence was split by the thunder of hooves striking the forest floor. "Run for the clearing," Mick yelled. Turner instinctively jumped up and followed. "No, wait!" Dax hissed at his companions. "Stick to the trees!" But it was too late. They burst into the clearing. It was the last Dax saw of them. He could only hear a brief scream, and then nothing. Dax jettisoned all of his non-essential gear and began the arduous task of slowly moving through the woods to the extraction point. He listened intently to the sounds of the forest, and he became one with it. He remembered what his father taught him, and he embraced the darkness. Arriving safely at the extraction point, he was met by an armed task force. He was debriefed and extracted. The task force lit up the night and entered the woods to confront whatever foe lurked in the woods. But they found nothing. No bodies, no equipment, and no clearing where Dax had indicated on the map. Dax was interrogated for hours, but his story never changed. The fallen soldiers were never recovered, and their fates remained a mystery. Back in the barracks several days later, he hears the thundering hoofbeats. His heart pounds. Sweats and shakes overcome his body. Alone in the dark, he walks to his dresser and opens the drawer. He reaches a hand inside and grasps 4 dog tags tightly in his hand. The sound of hoofbeats subsides. His heartbeat normalizes. He quietly lays down to sleep, dreaming of his next mission and of the debt he owes his father, soon to be paid. Difficult to collect in times of peace, but he would find a way. The Dark One would provide. He always did. Da-da-da. That's my story.
It sounds like a ripoff of The Predator.
How's that a ripoff of The Predator exactly?
They were in a jungle clearing. It wasn't marked on the map. They were sent to retrieve a reconnaissance team, an enemy they couldn't see.
Wrong. They were... The target they hit was marked. They knew exactly what target they were hitting, but they were told that it was a rescue mission, and they were actually there to get intel.
Yeah, right. You tell it your way, I'll tell it mine.
Well, because I know the story, I actually know the movie clearly better than you.
You tell your story.
Clearly you didn't understand the story. Can someone explain the story to Ron? Because he doesn't get it.
No, I got it. I mean, it's about you and fighting squirrels, let's face it. Now, you don't like the squirrels. I mean, if you read into it.
Story. I don't think you understood the story.
The son is feeding his dad's evil. Right?
Yeah. Right, just like the B-Man.
No, he didn't get it.
No,
you had to talk.
Right.
I wanted him to tell this. He didn't get it.
So anyway,
you didn't get the story.
Didn't get it.
Well, tell us what happened in the story.
The giant squirrel came out of nowhere with the thundering hooves.
The giant squirrel.
Squirrel.
Tremonti, did you get the story?
What era was this set in?
Era?
The 90s.
The 90s.
90s?
Just like the Predator.
Yeah, except the Predator was an alien, and the person who actually killed them in this story was Dax. Did you not get that from the story?
I did.
No, you didn't. You're such a liar. Such a liar.
It was a debt to be repaid and evil to be fed.
You just summarized what I said.
I've never seen the Predator. What is the storyline of the Predator?
Not the same.
No, the initial when you started to tell the initial story, I thought that's what it sounded like. Right? They were going, and yeah, it had similar plot lines to the Predator, but of course it wasn't.
It just had a similar plot line to any movie, because all stories are very similar. Predator is Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has a special operations team. They get teamed up with a quote friend of his who works for the CIA or a similar organization. They drop them in a jungle to go extract someone who's a friend of theirs, a mutual friend of theirs, but it was a lie. The CIA actually wanted them to go there to get intel. They already knew that his friend wasn't there or was dead. And while they're there, they learn about this story of an alien. Well, they don't say it's an alien, but something's killing people. And it's this high-tech alien that comes to the planet to hunt man. And, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger kicks his ass and kills it.
Of course he does.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
The Predator. I'm going to add that to my watch list.
Yeah. But seriously though, Tremonti, did you understand what happened in the story?
once you got to like the middle of it, then I started to pick up. You have a really good way of telling stories. It was just like intriguing to just like sit and listen.
Oh, you didn't want to say don't go in there? You're like, don't
No,
go in the
go in
clearing! Don't go in the clearing!
Well,
I mean, I wanted
your
to.
narrative
but I
voice
didn't.
is your narrative voice was really good.
He
you didn't
reads
pause?
well. He reads well and doesn't stutter. I have like a problem.
I just wanted to make sure that you guys figured it out that Dax was the bad guy.
I figured it out.
Yeah. Now I
He
feel
was-
like
He was the son of the Dark One.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
my story. or
You're gonna tell your story
whatever,
anyway, bitch.
it can't
Because
be
everybody else
possible.
did.
Telling it, motherfucker.
But like so I was thinking like of like personal stories, and like I haven't really like had a lot of like good stories where like I was scared. Like my dad.
Oh well,
used to,
we can
like,
work on that for you.
like my dad was like the one who would like put on like a creepy mask like any time of the year, and will like
That's
Be
nice.
in our
So
bed
you're
when we go
unsuspecting.
there, or-
Unsuspecting, so he'd get you at any time.
anytime. I mean, he one year like he bought this like creepy old man head mask, and he would be in like we would go into the garage and he would be in the car, and we open the door, he's there, or like he'll sneak into our room and like grab our feet and like. So those are like
Startles. Like startle scares.
no, at times I was pretty scared.
Oh yeah.
Pretty scared. But like I was like I haven't experienced anything that like really makes for a really good story of being scared.
What is the unrational fear that you have of, say, objects? Do you have any unrational fears of objects? Like I don't like ventriloquist dummies.
Or like porcelain dolls. They're a little bit creepy.
That doesn't freak me out as much as
Ventriloquist
ventriloquist
dummies.
dummies do.
That's a
Ron,
So,
what
not-
is your irrational fear?
I don't fear anything.
Stop it! I was waiting for him to say that.
fear nothing.
Because I was waiting to trap him because he would have been set. He would be
I fear
like,
nothing, but I almost
fear
shit myself when this
spider."
guy tapped on my window at 10:30 at night. Yet I fear nothing.
No, I would say, if anything, humans scare me.
That's boring.
Other than don't fucking ask what scares me.
I said an unnatural fear of an
inanimate
object.
object.
Of an object is what I said.
Humans
Like,
can be an object.
Humans.
Humans can be objective.
Beep, beep, but up, humans scare me.
Well, you think about the most destructive force on this planet.
That's not.
What is it?
Okay.
But
Whatever.
nobody's clearly.
The nobodies. Well, don't ask a question if you don't want to hear the
Well, I
fucking
mean, I
answer.
specifically said an object.
And I gave you an object. I didn't give you an intangible item. I gave you a tangible item.
Hookworms.
for me, I would say like caskets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're easier for me to approach if somebody is actually in them, even though it's still kind of a little weird. But like if you want me to just go look in just a bare casket, absolutely not.
No, you wouldn't do that challenge like they have there where you could like if you can stay in a casket for 12 hours, you can win like a trip to
Fuck
Cancun. No.
I would lose. One time I was in a play, and there was a scene where someone dies. Of course, in every stage play, there's always somebody who dies. And so we had a little funeral scene, and we needed one of the cast members to be in the casket. And so whoever it was, they were going to dress him up as the person who died, and you can see from the audience who it was, but we wanted an actual body in there. Absolutely not putting myself in a casket, and I'm still
You're
living.
like, hell no.
Hell no.
See, I don't know that I would have a problem with that if you can leave the lid open, because apparently they're pretty comfy. No,
Nope,
Rons, what do you think?
not doing it.
But if the lid was closed, you'd be like, no.
Well, I because I'm a claustrophobic person, I don't like that.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
I can't.
No, I've always had a problem with that because my brother used to like him and his friend would like wrap me up in one of those scratchy blankets, the ones
Yeah.
that you could make sparks with, Him
Yeah.
and his buddies would
And
roll me up
sauce.
in that like a taco, and they would sit on top of me and not let me out, torture me. So I always had a problem. That's why I don't like tight spaces. And then I had to do, we were in long range reconnaissance patrol school in Germany, and we had to do this hide site and observe this road in this a specific type of hide site because we didn't have much time to dig it. It's called a dead man's hide site. So basically, you just dig below ground level, and you and another person are then basically buried alive with just a little door over the top of you that they cover with sod and leaves and everything. So you only have enough room to move over the top of each other to then observe. So it's basically like a little
Shallow grave.
It's literally a grave. It's called a dead man's hide site. And we had to be in that for like 12 hours. That fucking sucked.
How do you go pee in there?
We had bags.
Ew.
We had giant, we call it extenders.
Wait, so
Like, hold my pee bag.
do you lay on your side and pee?
Yeah. Yep.
Facing your person in there, or
I think
away
people
from each
never
other?
understand the extent that the military actually trains for stuff that they have to do. I mean, the training that you do is pretty crazy.
So, do you face each other when you pee, or you face away?
You have to
from
think
each
about
other?
it. If you were in war and you were, our mission was to be dropped behind enemy lines to observe targets for like Ron's people, the Air Force, to come in and drop, hit targets. So you're observing to send back information to military intelligence so they know what targets to hit. So you're 150 kilometers behind enemy lines. You don't want to be found. They're going to kill you. So you dig holes and you bury yourself, and then you just have like a little slit to look through to observe a target until you can get extracted in a set amount of time. So they have to train that way in peacetime also. So that's how you train. You train like you're going to fight in war.
Yeah. What was it? The line you said I've heard before. I'm going to paraphrase it. We prepare for war through peacetime efforts.
Prepare for war, hope for peace, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever you want to
yeah.
call for that. Pray
So
for peace.
during
Pray for peace. Prepare for war, or prepare for war.
Yeah.
Pray for peace.
So yeah, I could see you, them training or people training to do that.
So yeah, you just lay it on your side and you peed into this giant extender bag, like a bladder. You ate in there. You peed in there. God forbid you had to take a shit in there.
That would be rough. Hold it. You're like, hold that shit.
Well, then you don't know how many days you're going to be on there. So
You better
like I said,
poo before you go.
Yeah. Well, these things happen.
Tremonde, you
I
want
feel like
to
that's
get a
just, like-
giant sleeping bag and snuggle?
I feel like that's just like traumatic. Like
Tremonde is like, I got PTSD
He's like,
just thinking about
it's
it.
not so much being buried alive. It's it's being buried alive and having to take a shit that's really scaring Tremonde. I should have wrote a
Yeah.
story about that. Shitting
I-
in compromised locations.
I can't. But the idea of like somebody shitting like while they're like watching their sibling being taken under the bed, yes, like I'm there. Like that needs to happen.
Yeah, do you think it would be a total bowel evacuation or just like drop a couple nuggets?
No, I think it just needs to be like runny shit. Like
Just a full
Like just
evac.
running down their
Just
leg.
like I also thought about like somebody like while they're having intercourse and like some figure or whatever comes into the room that literally like scares the shit out of either the person in whatever position, and then they're just like a mess in the bed.
Oh, that would be the best if you were 69 and somebody just dropped a loaf on somebody's head.
Oh wow!
Just a steaming pile right on them.
Probably some people like that.
Is there a porn like that?
I'm
Well,
sure
I know
there
there's porn.
is.
I know there's porn where people like enjoy feces and stuff like that.
Cleavage
But like,
That's
steamer.
nasty. No thanks.
have you ever seen that before, Ron?
No.
Immediately. I like how you just
No.
immediately asked Ron's,
Ron's,
as a
are you kind of into that?
Ron's
just
is a
asking for a
connoisseur.
friend.
Ron's is a connoisseur of very odd porn. Are you?
Well, I should say, have you ever seen Two Girls in a Cup?
No. Let's not go there.
Oh wait, Tremonde goes there on me. It's okay. I go there on you guys.
It was
We're
fake.
gonna
Anyway.
end it.
That was debunked. That was all fake.
Was it now?
Yeah. Didn't you know that? Didn't you hear that?
No, I never looked into it.
Well,
Just heard
I
about
suggest you don't because it'll put a virus on your computer if you try to.
Yeah, right.
No, that's what happened to us. Remember?
Yeah.
They kept talking about. No, seriously, it's a funny story. It's a funny
Who
story.
looked it
So
up?
you actually looked it up and you had to
No,
watch
here's a
it.
funny story.
Listen to
No,
the story,
do you want
Ron.
to fucking hear the story? So,
Yeah, okay.
97.9 WRKR, right?
WGRD.
WGRD. They talked about it like every day for like months, and they kept talking about it and stuff. I'm like, so
This was
I'm
like 15 years ago. Like,
oh,
wasn't
a
it?
minimum,
Yeah, at
at
least.
least
Yeah.
15 years ago. Yeah, it was before.
we
It
lived
was
in
before. It was
Paw Paw.
before Baby Swan
And
was born.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, let's look it up. Like, is it supposed to be disgusting? Because the guy on the WGRD kept saying, Joe, he's like, yeah, it makes you want to throw up. It's so fucking disgusting. So like, all right, so let's look it up. So we went to pull it up. Immediate virus on our computer.
Yep. Ron's
Ron,
looking it
are
up
you
right now.
looking
He's
it
so
up
dumb.
right now?
Like,
No.
the best virus protection ever.
He's like,
No,
well, this
no.
is,
Tech
First-
he's like,
savvy.
technically, this is not my computer. So
First of all, you can't get a. I suppose you could get a virus by looking something up because it would force a download.
yeah,
But I've
it
never heard of
immediately-
it.
It immediately put a virus on our computer.
I
What did it just
It-
opened up? It opened like 5,000 windows, and if you closed a window, it would open up like 500 more.
Oh, okay. That wasn't a virus. That was a JavaScript or Perl script.
Like
And-
malware or something.
still
that
a
opened-
vi-
it's
it's
still a virus.
It's still
Yeah.
a virus.
No,
It's-
you
oh
know
my
what?
god!
Oh
If
my
you
god!
want to
To
get
the
in the
lame,
technical sense of
person.
oh my god!
to
Here
you.
he goes.
Oh, he's gonna school us with some
Here comes tech savvy.
technology.
Here comes the least tech savvy person out of all of us to give us
All
a
right, hey.
definition.
Yeah, like I had my mic and my stuff ready to go 15 minutes prior.
Can you
Oh,
tell us
Except-
how many
Except
O's
your
and
mic still
dots?
went out, didn't it?
How many dashes and O's that was
Yeah.
to make that, Ron? Number ones and
Okay.
O's over
mean
zeros
binary?
and ones. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, regardless of whether by definition it's virus or not, it doesn't matter. You couldn't use the computer.
Right.
That's regardless. Couldn't use the computer.
All right.
So Tremonti, your scariness. What is your scariness?
I don't have anything really
Nothing.
We all
scary.
know. Mine's aliens.
So yeah, Swans is aliens and people wearing gas masks.
Gas masks, yeah. Oh, those are scary. They I'm a big don't like those. I didn't really like skeletons for a long time either.
Skeletons kind of dope.
You know, I figured because you were a camp counselor, you had to have some scary stories on hand to tell kids.
I don't think they wanted to make the kids scared shitless to go to bed and have to
No.
deal
I
with
didn't
that
say
shit all night.
shitless. I said scared.
Like, ooh,
Scary
no,
stories.
they sang like kumbaya and stuff to make them
Yeah.
happy and
I
like,
did not say scared shitless. I mean, you have that mild, like,
No, it was not as scary. They don't do that.
Hey, let me ask you a question
That's
though.
right. Like we're the ones who have to deal with.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't
They're
sleep
all
at
night,
night. I'm
yeah.
having nightmares. Yeah, no.
Can I get in your bed? No.
No.
No. I'm not
Hey, let
doing
me
that.
ask you the panel, if you, as it were, a question about scary movies in general. This is what the baby Swan and I were talking about the other day because we watched A Nightmare on Elm Street, which I thought was always a pretty good movie. And
Okay.
then we watched it the other day and it did not stand the test of the time. The acting was horrible. There wasn't enough Freddy. And the only one who did a good job acting was Johnny Depp. And we were watching it and the baby Swan and I were like, you know what? There's a real problem with scary movies. Clearly, there's some unresolved sexual tendencies among the people who write these movies because why do they always seem to write them about underage kids having sex and then being assaulted by somebody who's not an underage person? To me, that screams pedophile.
Like Freddy, pedophile. Jason, pedophile.
Yeah, why do they have to make, if you're going to have a movie that focuses on the sexuality or the over sexualization of a man and a woman in a relationship or whatever type of relationship, why are they always underage? Why does Hollywood depict them as underage? Why can't you depict them as over the age of 18? Why can't you depict them in college or something else like that? Why do they always have to be young? I mean, not always. There's other storylines that are not, but there's a real big focus on that. And it's kind of disturbing now when I watch it. Like the other day when I watched it with Baby Swan, and there's a scene where the girl's in a bathtub and she's in a bubble bath, and Freddy's hand comes up between her legs, his knife hands comes up between her legs. And Baby Swan and I had a conversation about that before we ever watched the movie about, like, there's this focus on just basically pedophiles, really. And so when she watched it, she's like, yeah, there's a high creep factor in these movies.
Well,
Hmm.
I agree to a point. Their target marketing is usually teenage boys or the younger crowd. As far as the movies go, it's your basic hack and slash. What more do you want? I mean, in the first movie, it was a bunch of what is it? Friday the 13th. It wasn't Jason. It was a bunch of horny teenagers, and it was a distraught
Yeah, but
mother
why
doing
does
the
it
killing.
exactly? Why does
Yeah,
it
right,
have to
but
be
why
the
does it have to be
teenagers?
teenagers?
Just
They were all camp counselors. Camp counselors are usually pretty young. They don't have old guys running around. Now I could
not
be wrong
old.
about
You
that.
mean we mean college, not high school kids. Like just
Well,
like
they were
the
all
scary
college.
movie
Yeah, Scary Movie. They're
was
all in high school. and-
kids.
Yeah, and they were college or
High
camp
school,
counselors.
like so.
So, if I'm hearing you correctly, Beef Man, like I think part of it is like with having like younger characters, if you will. There's like this level of like ignorance.
Like they're young and naive and
They're young and naive.
stupid and but
But the part that as you're speaking to, like why does it have to involve sexual content?
Yeah.
Like we can show that they're naive without showing that they're horny.
Right. And then if these stories are rated R, and then, like Ron says, they're trying to play to this demographic of teenage boys. I'm like, okay, yeah, but back in the day, not so much now. But if they were playing to that demographic, you couldn't go see that movie.
Yep.
You had to go with a parent, and most parents are not going to take you, or you had to lie to somehow get in to see the movie. So when they say they're playing to a demographic, I don't know so much that I believe that anymore, especially with all the recent problems in the media and all these lawsuits and all those other things. I'm like, no, I think there were some sick fucks that said, the writers might have actually wrote it and said, well, this is a group of 20 to 20 something year olds. Are like, no, let's make them teenagers. Let's make them high school kids.
I can see that. I the other day I saw, and this is on the same topic, just a different focus of it. The other day I saw on some type of social media a party advertisement at some club, and it said males 21 and over, females 18 and older. And what tends to happen sometimes is females who are 17, 16 who can pass for 18, they're showing up at these places, and then you have these group of older men
21 and over,
21
yeah.
and up who are there. So it's and a female recognizes like why is this okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's okay.
Not at all.
I start now looking at this stuff through a different lens.
The daddy lens?
No, because now if I look at it, okay, so going back to what Ron said, so if I'm watching it as a teenage boy and I'm watching A Nightmare on Elm Street and I'm like, oh, cool, sex scene. Well, first of all, those kids are not teenagers in the first place. They're all in their 20s, but they're depicted as teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
But me, I'm like, oh, good, I get to see a sex scene. But then I put myself in the position of an adult going to see that same movie. And even if those people are older than teenagers, why would I find it interesting to watch a sex scene with teenagers?
Yeah.
There's something wrong. What I'm saying is there's something wrong with Hollywood. There's something fucking wrong there.
Yeah. I agree.
This is just not. When you
It's
look at
almost-
stuff now, it's kind of
almost
it's sick.
scary. It's almost scary the way Hollywood turns out those movies.
Yeah, why not just make a good thriller? It's not like the Saw movies are a bunch of underage teenagers.
You mean like M. Night Shyamalan?
I said Saw.
I said Sixth Sense. That's what I was referring to. Because there wasn't any gratuitous horny teen sex in that.
No.
Thriller. That was scary as hell for me as a kid.
How could you be scared with that dancing? Good dancing, man.
It was the
Baby
zombie.
Baby Swan was
did-
scared of that too. She still doesn't like that. She
Still
doesn't
one of my
play that
favorite-
on
That's
the,
like one of my
the
all-time
dance
favorite
game.
videos.
She doesn't play that song
Tremont,
because
did
she
you
doesn't
have
like
rhythm?
it.
Oh yeah, I have rhythm. I grew up in church.
Yeah, duh. They teach it. He had rhythm class. Were you not? Did you not attend that podcast?
Well, no,
Church
he-
rhythm is not the same thing.
Yeah, he had rhythm clap or church clap, but
We had rhythm class. I love that.
a rhythm class.
I'm gonna write that
Oh.
down.
Write it down.
Ron's would be swaying the opposite way.
Yes, he would.
I would
clapping
be.
on
I would
clapping
be.
on the off beats.
Ron would be going this way.
Lovely as a summer day.
Tremonde, what was your favorite camp song?
What the fuck?
I
does
just
that have to do with it?
because he was talking about being camp scary ghost stories, but
Favorite camp song? Probably there's a song that we used to sing called "At a Time Like This," and I just like it because my name is in it.
I don't know if I heard that one.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It's a classic.
Dope.
So
But we never really told, like, as Ron was kind of like speaking to a little bit, we never really told scary stories.
Because most
Just
of those
thinking.
kids came from scary home lives. They don't need
Yeah.
scary stories. I'm not being.
well, that's
being
pretty
serious.
dark. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty dark.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, like there may have been like a scary element of like what's behind the curtain, but we didn't necessarily make it out to be like with zombies and blood and shit and all that.
All that
Yeah.
shit.
shit everywhere. Porta potties falling over. Some serious
Yeah.
scary shit there. I would like to see, and I was talking with a boy about this, and I said this is the movie that I would like to actually see made, and because I kind of always hint these stories at him, like you should really write a script like this, but he loses this interest and stuff. But what I would like to see is I'd like to see a similar kind of movie like Predator, but I'd like to see it take place in World War I in the trenches during trench warfare, where they encounter some sort of evil in the trenches. But it starts off like a typical military movie, and you really don't know it's a horror movie till you're kind of like a half an hour into it.
Mm.
And I want to see it where the soldiers of World War I emerge triumphant over this evil. I think that would be fucking badass. I think that would be a good plot line. But I was thinking about when Tremonde was talking about scary stuff, I was like, I've been in a lot of, if I was in those situations now, I would consider that just creepy. Just because you're alone in the middle of the woods, out in the middle of nowhere by yourself, but it doesn't seem that bad because you're with 5 other people. But in the grand scheme, 5 other people is not a lot of protection. If you get attacked by a bunch of Billy Bob rednecks or, whatever in the middle of Arkansas in the woods.
Well, all you have to do is remember you have to run faster than them. That's it.
Either that or I got to wound the guy running next to me.
Exactly. And you're still going to run faster than him.
Right. No, but I'm just saying that in a lot of those situations, was like, those kind of were, if it wasn't for the trust that you have in the people around you, like, yeah, I guess that would be a pretty creepy situation, really. So whatever.
But did they ever fuck around and like make scary shit?
No.
Because
No, why would we scare each other?
I don't know, because it's a great way to get shot. But
With no ammunition. In peacetime,
just-
you don't carry live rounds in peacetime
Okay.
on training missions. They don't give you live rounds because people could accidentally get shot.
True.
Anyway. All right. Well, thanks for that super scary story, Ron's. Can you give us all copies of that?
Well, wait a minute. Now, we haven't heard from Tremonde, even though he says he has nothing. He had a few thoughts.
He
And
gave
I'm
them
so-
already. Were you not paying attention, or were you too busy yawning?
Tremonde's just been talking for like the past 20 minutes, so I'm not sure.
but I didn't think they were that scary. Or that
You mean compared to your story, which was terrifying.
I know, and I appreciate that. I really do.
I'm glad you appreciate that because the rest of us were not terrified. Swan's story was terrifying compared to yours.
No, but then again, I like horror
What do
films.
you mean no? What do you mean, what was? I didn't even understand yours.
All right.
It really sounded like the rambling thoughts of a madman who was interested in global warming.
There you go. How could you ever?
Conspiracy theories and global warming is what I took away from it.
All right, there you go. Have you ever seen the movie? What is it? They Live.
Yes, one of my
It was
favorites.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites too. With Roddy
Terrible
Piper.
movie. Terrible
Yeah,
movie.
it is a
Not scary whatsoever.
but it's a cult classic. But it's along
Yeah,
that lines.
it's a great movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, but it's
Swan
along that
would hate it.
lines.
Along what lines? Along the
That-
lines of what of your story?
Yeah, because
I guess if somebody understood your fucking story. But since
Well, in
nobody
the be-
understood your
Okay,
fucking
I wanna.
story,
Can you?
Okay.
Can you please send it to us, and maybe we'll have the Beef Man read it and see if it sounds more thought provoking.
yeah, we might
or
have to do an
scary.
actual podcast on the ramblings of the Rons.
But
Yeah.
it's along the same lines where in the beginning you don't understand what's going on in the movie until about the middle and the end when they put on the dark sunglasses.
Rons, I think you need to watch that movie again because that happened about in the first 15 minutes. I mean, you're saying like the middle and the end of the movie. No, we knew pretty much right away what was going on. He puts the glasses on. He sees alien invaders.
Well, they weren't really invaders. They were just treating the Earth as a third world country.
Okay, so they're coming from another planet. They're changing our atmosphere, and they're subjecting us to.
Well, they were they were working alongside.
They're subjecting us to low income menial tasks and only
They
allowing
were-
certain humans to
which
have better
you-
tasks.
They
So
were
that's not
acting.
an invasion.
Yeah, no, they were acting alongside other humans to basically keep the downtrodden. Maybe
That's
it's just
what I just said.
maybe you saw a different movie. So
Nope.
I will ask this
Nope,
though.
Roddy Piper, sunglasses.
Yeah, like
Same
Sam.
movie. They Live.
Frog Comes to Helltown.
Also a good
Yeah.
movie, but
Yeah.
not anything
what's-
like your story either.
What's your favorite Halloween trivia thing? So
How trivia?
yeah, what's your
Halloween
favorite
trivia.
Halloween trivia thing?
I don't have
Then-
any Halloween trivia.
That you think no one knows or they might know.
Again, nothing.
See, mine is
I think that
I've
you
got
only
two of
asked that
them.
question so you could tell us. But still, please just go tell us. Tell us what
Yeah,
it is.
what's yours,
so
Ron?
I have two of them.
You
One,
could have just asked like, "What's my favorite Halloween movie?" But you're like, "What's your favorite Halloween trivia question that no one would know or
yeah,
care
sort of
about?"
like okay.
Yeah,
so
or care
you
about.
mentioned Friday the 13th, right?
No.
Who was the killer?
No, I didn't mention Friday the 13th. I said
You
Yeah,
did.
you did.
No,
I
you
did. You're right. You're right. Yeah, you're absolutely
It's the
correct.
dementia. Take your meds, Ron.
I guess the
Okay,
trivia question.
Let
the
it go.
trivia-
Let it go.
You know what the best trivia questions are is us asking questions of you about what you said during the podcast, and then
Fantastic.
you arguing
Let's-
with us about what you said.
Yeah, let's argue with that. However, who in the first movie, who was the killer? Everybody who
You already told us it was the mom.
yeah. So
He
Halloween.
doesn't remember.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. You did Halloween. What was Michael Myers' mask?
I don't know.
It was a Captain Kirk's mask, spray painted white, or painted white.
You know, because he likes to get behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
No, actually, I go. You're right about
Now,
that. I
okay,
go,
so who?
no, hold on.
Which
I go
which
behind
company? Which catering company did they have in Friday the 13th? Who was the caterers?
I
And
don't
then
know.
Can you tell us who the fluffers were?
Fluffers.
That was Friday the 14th. That was
was
Saturday
it?
the 14th.
That's it.
That's a porno movie. Saturday the
Oh.
14th. Why don't you just ask us what our
I wanna
favorite
write that
Halloween
down.
movie was?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so what is your Tremonde? What was your favorite Halloween movie?
Favorite Halloween movie? I mean, I used to watch like the Jason, like those movies when I was younger, but not much so. Like after I became a teenager, not really.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a movie specifically that is scary or a horror movie or anything. Like, what is your favorite Halloween season movie? What movie is it that you like to watch around Halloween time or that you have made a tradition? If you have one. If not, you don't have to have one.
I don't.
I do.
I know what yours is. Do you know what mine is?
Is it The Nightmare Before Christmas?
No.
Which
See,
is
mine
supposed
would
to be, which is actually a Christmas movie, which is silly, but it's
Mine would
actually
be-
both. So they've actually, I'm still talking, which they've actually
hear
made
ya.
it both.
I don't care. Anyway,
I think Swan was going to tell us what hers was, so
Well, I
I'm
was
not
gonna
sure
tell you what
why.
yours
all right,
was.
all right,
But
all right.
yours is The Crow.
Yes, mine is The Crow,
And
but it still makes me sad every time I watch it.
yeah.
You know why it makes me sad, Tremonde?
I do not. I've
Because
never
Brandon
seen
Lee was killed during the making of that movie.
it.
Was it the first one or the second one he was killed in?
Oh my God, the first one. It's not him in the second movie.
I was gonna say,
it's
dude,
not even
if-
him through the entire Crow movie because he was killed before they finished.
Okay, my mistake.
Fun fact. Like,
Behind the
fun
scenes,
fact.
Yeah,
Behind
behind
the
the
scenes.
scenes, they fucked up on his prop gun and killed him. Much
They
like
did.
recently.
They did. And Swan, what's yours?
You don't know what mine is?
Is it the Rocky Horror
It
Picture
is.
Show?
Yay! Good job. I gave you enough clues for it.
When?
I don't know, just by saying
Just
that.
by asking if
by
I know what it
asking
is?
Yeah.
How's that a fucking clue?
Ron
Get a
probably
clue!
likes, Ron's probably likes that
Get a
one,
clue.
don't you,
It's
Ron?
not a clue.
I do. I have seen it. I
was-
think it's a
he was-
fantastic movie.
She was tapping like a Morse code on your leg.
I was.
You know what other movie I like that I think I really would like to watch again, but I can't get anybody to watch it with me, and it actually is kind of scary, kind of creepy,
What?
is The Corpse Bride. Have you seen that one, Tremonde?
I have not.
You've never seen The Corpse Bride? Oh my god, it's so good. Tim Burton.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
It's an animated movie.
I'll watch it with you again.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Ron's Corpse Bride. What do you think?
That's the Tim Burton animation. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
I just said I.
He's so
No,
Ron has
no.
ADD.
No. I was off in another
Yawning?
plane.
You were yawning?
I'm sorry.
Actually,
Yeah,
did
sorry.
just say it was.
It's my mistake.
When I was describing it to
Yeah.
Tremonde, I said it was a Tim Burton animated.
No,
movie.
it was my mistake. I zoned out. I totally accept the ribbing. I'm kidding. Yeah, I only seen bits and pieces of it. I want to see it all. Right? It looked like a pretty
Right?
good movie.
Ron, are you drunk yet?
I like it.
I'm
It's a
like,
good.
wow.
It's really good.
You're out?
It's really good,
Ooh.
Rons. You should totally watch it.
One of my favorite movies to watch for Halloween is Spaced Invaders. It's a comedy, alien invasion.
I thought you were gonna say Space Jam.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not
It's
Halloween.
not really
though.
a Halloween movie.
It
but-
is if you make it. If you say
Yeah,
it's a
it's
Halloween
your
movie.
tradition.
Like I said, what's your traditional movie? Like Thanksgiving, we watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, Steve Martin and John Candy.
Yeah, great movie.
Baby
Great
Swan
movie.
just made us ice cream.
Christmas. Edward Scissorhands.
Oh yeah, Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
Where does
and
Beetlejuice come in? I like that movie.
Christmas. Isn't it a Christmas
don't
movie?
know.
Isn't Beetlejuice a Christmas movie?
I think
I feel like
I don't
it
know,
is.
but I do like that movie.
It kind of happens around that era.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a Christmas movie. Winona Ryder,
Yeah.
Michael
You
Keaton,
know,
the lady from what's her name?
I don't
From
know.
Schitt's Creek. What's her
Oh.
name?
Moira.
Moira.
Moira. I
Moira.
love that show.
Ew,
Have you,
David.
Rons? Have you watched Schitt's Creek, Rons?
I seen a couple of episodes. Yes.
Oh well, never mind.
Tremonde, have you seen the montage of all the
David.
what do they say? David.
David.
Ew, David.
David.
I haven't.
Oh, you gotta
Look
watch that
it
on
up,
YouTube.
it's
You gotta watch that on
hilarious.
YouTube.
They say it probably like 300
It's
times
hilarious.
Really?
and dub it all
All
together.
right, so then, Rons, can you send us that story? And the next podcast, I would like to dive further into your madness.
Sounds good.
At least we know what we got on the next podcast, and we're gonna really talk about that. I really wanna see
we're
it.
gonna do a book report on it. We're gonna dig it apart.
I really want to see what's going on because I was fucking lost. I
We're
was
gonna-
fucking
As
lost.
you should be. As you should be.
All right, well, that's it from me. I just want to say happy Halloween, everyone. I used to really enjoy Halloween till a friend of mine passed away shortly before Halloween, and it's kind of ruined Halloween for me ever since.
Yeah.
But I need to get on with it. 'Cause it's,
Moving forward.
moving forward,
Living our
moving forward.
lives.
We're going to do that.
Yes.
All right. But I'm still not giving out candy this Halloween, so fuck
Yeah.
all you asshole kids. All right.
Bye.
But I will. But since I did not get a Halloween costume this year, I will be putting on my Care Bears costume
Excellent.
because it's
I,
warm.
Because sharing is caring.
I feel like the Swan wants to go eat some ice cream.
Yeah.
I
All right.
do.
All right.
Bye from the Swan. Could you tell I was like getting ready?
No,
I like it before it melts. I don't like it all melty.
I like melted ice cream.
Me too.
Oh,
Like
so
I would
does
sit
the
and I would
man.
just whip it and whip it and whip it.
It's called dobra when you do that.
What the fuck?
That's what it's called.
What the?
Tom Cruise!
There we go. And from the Rons, a
You get a pair of shoes, and you get a pair of shoes, and you get a pair of shoes.
Deuces.
Adios, mooch fuckos.